A well-known spirits company will share its story at the Coral Gables Museum. Did you know landscaping can protect your home? The Coral Gables Police Department is offering a free service that will make your home a lot safer.
Want to know where to find a delicious pork belly bun like this one? I'll tell you where, and about 7 new restaurants that opened here in Coral Gables.
One of our most admired historic landmarks is undergoing a more modern look. I'll have that story and more coming up on City News.
The general elections are almost here, and President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney want to make a statement in a critical state. Lastly, Coral Gables has had several visits from well-known personalities. We've got the full scoop on a recent champion's visit. Welcome to Coral Gables Now. I'm your host, Rodolfo Roman. Who hasn't enjoyed a rum and coke at a party or social gathering? Well, there's lots of history in that drink, and one of the most well-known and influential companies in the spirits industry is Bacardi. The company's headquarters is housed right here in our city. It will be sharing its story with the world with an exhibit at the Coral Gables Museum right here in Coral Gables. And joining us is Coral Gables Museum representative Christine Rupp. How are you, Chris?
Great to be here.
Welcome, and welcome aboard to Coral Gables Now. Now, tell us about this exhibit. Very interesting, the fact that Bacardi is opening its door to its long history.
It's a beautiful exhibit, and it features not only the story of Bacardi, but Bacardi's art, architecture, and branding. So Bacardi has beautiful architecture around the world. They have a fabulous collection of art in their archives, and we've been working very closely with Bacardi to bring these beautiful objects to the museum.
Chris, something very interesting about this is that this has never been shown anywhere else. It's going to be the first time, and it's going to be right here in Coral Gables, at the Coral Gables Museum, which is actually celebrating its first year anniversary.
That's correct. This is going to be a great way to celebrate our anniversary with the kickoff of this exhibition in November. We have a series of events. November 9th, we have a fundraiser at the Biltmore called Paradise Under the Stars, a night in Old Havana. That is in conjunction, obviously, with the Bacardi exhibition. And then on Wednesday, November 14th, the exhibition actually opens to the public.
Wow, just quite amazing. It's funny you mentioned that, because I remember last year when we covered the opening of the museum, exactly 1 year, right. and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was on 11/11/11?
It was not on 11/11/11, but it was at the end of October. And our anniversary is such a great celebration for us because we've hosted so many events, and we're just building momentum as we go. And I think we're so very proud to bring such an exhibition to the museum, working with the corporate headquarters right here. I mean, you said it exactly right. When we're able to work with our community partners, it makes everything just so much easier for us and builds momentum within the community for the museum.
And Bacardi, definitely a world-known name in the spirits industry. What are some of the things that people are going to see? You mentioned some of the artifacts and so forth. Can people try some of their drinks?
Well, something that's very exciting that's going to be done in conjunction with the exhibition is that we've decided to actually build a replica of a Bacardi bar. So we will have a functional Bacardi bar within the museum for the duration of the exhibition. And the exhibition will be on display from November 14th through mid-February.
That's pretty neat. So you'll be able to see a replica of this old-style bar from Bacardi.
Exactly.
Quite amazing. And in the Caribbean, you know, in Cuba and in Puerto Rico, Bacardi is well known. Actually has there's several stories, and I think we're going to get the record straight when they go to the museum, exactly where it came from, who built it, and so forth.
That's correct. We've been doing a great deal of research, and the curator of the exhibition is a well-known architect and architecture professor at the University of Miami, Alan Schulman. And Alan has been traveling, doing a great deal of research. So even the Bacardi Corporation is finding out things about their history that they really had never cataloged or archived. So it's of great benefit also to Bacardi to bring this exhibition to the public.
And not only for the Coral Gables Museum, but what does it mean for the community itself? I'm sure it's going to attract people from other parts of the county, the state.
Absolutely. We hope to really draw national attention to this exhibition because, like you said, everybody knows Bacardi. It's probably the most well-recognized brand of any liquor anywhere. And Bacardi has really spread out. They've purchased several other brands, so there are many brands under the Bacardi heading. And obviously, Bacardi is well known too as being a wonderful community partner, very generous. They sponsor just about everything that happens in South Florida, and so we're happy to showcase the corporation and all the wonderful things that they've done as far as architecture projects, art, and also being a great supporter of the community and the arts.
Chris, so then you also have an artisan food festival. Explain to our viewers exactly what happens during this event.
Sure. The Artisan Food Fest came about because we had done the farmers market on the plaza last spring, and we had several vendors that wanted to continue bringing their products to the museum. So we created something called the Artisan Food Fest. The third Saturday of every month, we have 30 vendors selling handcrafted foods, jams, jellies, cheeses, beef jerky, breads, beautiful baked goods. All of these items are handcrafted here locally, so it really brings a beautiful local component to the foods that are represented at the museum.
Well, it's a little early this time, but let me tell you, you're getting me hungry. Chris, thanks so very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
And we'll make sure to all of you viewers to visit the Coral Gables Museum for any information that you have regarding any exhibits. And mind you, the Bacardi exhibit starts in November. Now, for more information, you can visit coralgablesmuseum.org. And Chris, thank you again for joining us. We'll be right back with more here on Coral Gables Now. Welcome back. You know, when going on vacation, there's nothing like leaving your home feeling secure that it is safe. But did you know the Coral Gables Police Department has a free program that keeps a watchful eye when you're not around? Officer Kelly Dunham of the Coral Gables Police Department is here to explain this free service. Kelly, welcome to the Coral Gables Now. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Explain to us this program. From what I understand is you guys keep a watchful eye when the person is not around.
Yeah, what we do is we offer free of service to our residents of Coral Gables. They can contact us on the line, which is 305-460-5403, and ask for a house watch. And what that does is we ask certain information about when they're going to leave, when they're going to return, if there's anybody that's going to be at their house, pool service, lawn service, and any other pertinent information. And our officers go by once per shift, sometimes even more, and do a walk around the house to make sure it's secure while they're on vacation.
And this is obviously a great way to protect your house from any burglary. So basically, you can let the officer know as far as what cars they should expect or whatnot, as from what I understand. Like that, they keep an eye on who can come in, who cannot come in.
Absolutely. We ask those questions. There's a certain form that we fill out, so no question goes unanswered. And that's passed along to the guys that are in the patrol unit. And when they're out patrolling, they will make sure your home is safe.
Now, aside from that, because that's a great service, but you yourself can do certain tactics to protect your home. Like, for example, you've told me that protecting your home by leaving little things like boots outside that could send out a message to any possible burglar.
Right. The Coral Gables Police Department Community Service Unit, we offer a security survey. Free of charge. Once again, we come out to your house and we kind of take a look at it like a bad guy would. We will come and see if you need any other improvements. And they're not necessarily expensive improvements. We can make a suggestion. We have some single women that live alone, and they give a perception that a man might be living there by putting a pair of big size 13 boots on the front porch, a dog dish in the backyard that gives the illusion that they have a large animal, a beware of dog sign, anything else that when that person that doesn't belong there comes there that says, let me think twice about doing something unethical or, wrong, burglarizing the house and maybe moving on to another property.
And again, this goes for both inside and outside the house. For example, we took a little tour prior to the interview at a house where you mentioned that bushes is a great form of protecting your home.
Well, we want layers of barriers. You can add what we call septhead fencing, and what that means is it's designed for law enforcement to look through, but also to deter people from coming in. Any type of landscaping you want to keep low and maintained, so it gives an illusion that the property is well taken care of, and you don't want an ambush point. You don't want somebody hiding in the bushes when you come home and possibly encounter you at the door.
So an alarm system, as long as there's a signage outside, is another way of letting the possible burglar know, hey, don't come in here, because if you do, you're going to be in big trouble.
Well, absolutely. When you do have an alarm set up in your home, the alarm companies give you those signs for free. You can put them on the windows, post them in your front yard. As simple as having a dog as well. When a dog hears a noise, what does he do? He barks, and he alerts people. We also want to reiterate that if someone knocks at your door, you don't have to answer that door. You can answer them through the door, let them know that you're home. Most of these burglars do not want an encounter with a person. They want to come in, steal what they can carry away, and then leave without a confrontation.
And on a personal note, I've seen certain times that when folks leave their home, they love to leave their TV sets on. I don't know if it's a personal thing or not, but just because the volume is on, it kind of tells the person, hey, there's someone inside. Does this help in any way?
I don't know if there's really any hardcore evidence, but it's a good idea. It alludes that somebody is there. Most people turn off their television sets when they leave the house. And it's just also like a reminder of leaving newspapers and getting the mail. That's when you need to have a good neighbor. There's no reason to stop those services. Just ask your neighbor to remove the newspaper and the mail, and it gives the illusion that things are still continuing on a day-to-day basis, that there is somebody still living there.
And how long would it usually take this security survey for an officer to go to your home and do a whole run around? Well,
when they contact us, we set up a date and a time that's convenient for the homeowner. Depending on the size of the property, it can take anywhere from about an hour to an hour and a half. It's usually a little bit less than an hour. And we come out and we give them a written report afterwards on making suggestions. And like I said before, these aren't million-dollar suggestions. Sometimes it's as simple as, a solar light somewhere that might cost $10 from a local store.
Well, Kelly, thanks for joining me here in Coral Gables Now. And if you have any information, you can call 305-460-5403, and Kelly will help you out. Guys, did you know that familiar faces visited Coral Gables? Welcome back. Florida is a battleground state where votes can determine the outcome of the next president of the United States. That's why President Barack Obama and presidential candidate Mitt Romney aren't wasting any time. Both President Obama and Governor Romney visited the University of Miami during a sit-down interview directed to the Hispanic population. Those in attendance heard both of their platforms before hitting the polls. Univision hosts Jorge Ramos and Maria Elena Salinas didn't waste any time on asking Republican presidential candidate Romney to explain himself regarding a 47% comment he made on tape.
Well, first of all, this is a campaign about the 100%. And over the last several years, you've seen greater and greater divisiveness in this country. We had hoped to come back together, but instead you've seen us pull apart, and politics has driven us apart in some respects. So my campaign is about the 100% in America.
Governor Romney addressed the issue at the University of Miami during a Meet the Candidate forum presented by Univision and Facebook. The candidate was asked several questions in regards to different topics such as the economy, same-sex marriage, and the Hispanic population. The Hispanic group is important for the race to the White House. Hispanics are the largest minority, and there are roughly about 23 million voters in the group. Romney later greeted the University of Miami President Donna Shalala.
We have to have cooperation from all these sources in order to get something done. And so I am happy to take responsibility for the fact that we didn't get it done, but I did not make a promise that I would get everything done 100% when I was elected as president. What I promised was that I would work every single day as hard as I can.
President Obama took blame for not approving an immigration reform during a Meet the Candidate forum presented by Univision and Facebook. Univision hosts Jorge Ramos and Maria Elena Salinas asked possibly the toughest questions the president has had to answer so far. President Obama touched on several issues, such as the conflict overseas and education. He also mentioned that he wanted to do a lot more in his 4-year term in the White House, but it wasn't as easy as it seemed.
You know what? Obviously, the fact that we haven't been able to change the tone in Washington is disappointing.
Not only does Coral Gables attract politicians, but world champions too. Fans of basketball player Dwyane Wade waited to meet and greet the superstar for over 12 hours. Here's more on the author and Miami Heat player. Hundreds stood in line under a hot September morning to meet the Miami Heat superstar Dwyane Wade. The basketball player was in town to promote his new book, A Father First: How My Life Became Bigger Than Basketball. Heat fans didn't bother losing some sleep just to get their book signed and meet Wade.
I was here at midnight and just I'm a big fan. Been very dedicated, never met him in person, so I'm willing to do that.
The line spread from Ponce de Leon Boulevard to the entrance of Books and Books on Aragon. Lara has been a longtime fan.
Just his skills as a professional, not just as a professional, but as a person as a person as well.
In the new book, Wade talks about playing a different role, parenthood. Wade signed autographs and greeted fans who wore his number 3 jersey.
He's a very good basketball player, and he's like an idol to me.
Reyes said he was nervous to meet Wade.
I'm going to be quiet because I have no idea what to say.
Coming up next on Coral Gables Now, new restaurants are making Coral Gables home.
Hi, I'm Carlos from your local fire department with another safety tip. Each year, more than 2,500 people die in home fires, and almost 2/3 of those deaths happen in homes where smoke detectors are not working.
Smoke detectors are your first line of defense against deadly fires, but they cannot protect you if they don't work. Your local fire department wants to keep you and your family safe should a fire break out in your home. So please follow a few simple rules. Make sure you have smoke detectors on each level of your home and outside each sleeping areas. Test your smoke detectors monthly and change the batteries in your smoke detectors at least once a year. A good rule of thumb to help you remember when to change the battery of your smoke detector is at the change of daylight saving time. When you change the time on your clock, change the battery in your smoke detector. Early warnings from a smoke detector alarm can make the difference between surviving a fire or dying in one.
It's a plain and simple fact. Working smoke detectors save lives. We want you to be safe, not sorry.
Welcome back to Coral Gables Now. When going out for dinner at times, you want a long list of choice of dishes. Luckily for us, we live in Coral Gables, filled of different cultures. Many restaurants are coming to town to satisfy food lovers' desires. Veronica Fernandez is on the street. Hey Veronica, which is your favorite so far?
Well, now you're putting me in a predicament because with all the choices, it's going to be very hard to pick just one favorite restaurant. But I'm sure you can find a favorite dish, a favorite dessert, and a favorite appetizer. Recently, our city has become home to 7 new restaurants. From a juicy burger to a ceviche appetizer, these new spots have a lot to offer. We start at Powtown, located at 2624 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. Powtown is an Asian gastropub from the owners of Sushi Maki. In their menu, you can find Hawaiian-style cuisine with Chinese, Japanese, and Korean influences. The pub also serves beer and delicious homemade cornflake marshmallow cookies. Our second stop takes us to the Shake Shack. This restaurant is located on US 1 across from the University of Miami. The restaurant chain has been praised for their juicy burgers, fries, and concrete-style milkshakes. Pets are welcome in this establishment, and you can even find a treat for them in the menu. Also close to the University of Miami on 1533 Madruga Avenue is Bon Fromage, bringing a wide selection of imported French delicacies such as cheese, wine, and specialty foods. The shop specializes in fresh sandwiches, but in the menu you can also find a selection of salads and tapas. The next stop is at the popular restaurant chain Cien Montaditos, which recently opened on Miracle Mile. This spot prides itself in providing great service and offers 100 types of montaditos, the name given in Spain to these little sandwiches. Out-of-the-oven bread paired with Ibiza ham, Spanish tortilla, or even Nutella is what made this restaurant a hit. Cien Montaditos is also famous for their affordable menu, where you can also find beer, wine, and tapas. Continuing with the European style of cuisine, we arrive at Gourmet Table. This market and restaurant offers European delicacies from Mediterranean sea salts to Spanish meat. Customers receive personalized attention when shopping here and tips on how to use the products in their kitchen. The beautiful second floor is perfect for private receptions and meetings. Located at 4555 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, Gourmet Table is the perfect spot to purchase the finest ingredients for your next meal. Next, we visit Cielo, a twist of the Spanish translation for heaven. And in heaven is exactly where you'll feel when you walk into this beautiful restaurant. The decor creates an ambiance of comfort and luxury. In the menu, you can find an eclectic fusion of Peruvian, French, and Italian cuisine. Located at 264 Giralda Avenue, Cielo will take you through an exciting gastronomic adventure. We end our tour of new restaurants at Doggies, a traditional Venezuelan restaurant in downtown Coral Gables. In the menu, you'll find the popular Venezuelan arepas, punta trasera or picana, and pabellon. Doggies is great for lunch and also after work for happy hour. The sports bar section is ideal to watch a soccer match and enjoy an array of international cocktails. Located at 141 Giralda Avenue, Doggies is a great spot for a casual meal. And the list of restaurants will soon extend, adding 10 more to our neighborhood. Soon to open is Bricktop's Restaurant, Swine's Southern Table and Bar, Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza, Arabian Nights, Open Stage, Sushi Samba, Dyane's Kitchen, Pincho Factory, Siga la Vaca, and Vivaldino. And the good thing about having all these restaurants here in Coral Gables is that you can hop from one to the other, try out different dishes, and just have fun. That's all I have. Back to you.
Thanks, Veronica. Turning now to city news, many projects are underway. Tanya Leitz informs us of the latest happenings.
Our historic Miracle Theater will soon be looking at a fresh new marquee made possible through a grant program under American Express. The repair work will consist of the removal, restoration, and reconstruction of the sign box. But that's not all. The kiosk in front of the theater will be restored and the front poster cases will be replaced with digital poster frames. The upgraded kiosk will allow the Actors Playhouse to have a representative on hand to greet guests upon their arrival. These renovations are sure to bring new life to the historical Coral Gables Miracle Theater. There's a new pedestrian bridge in our city right over the Coral Gables waterway. This red bridge is located off of Coco Plum Circle and it is just about done with a few final touches to be made. The installation of this bridge will make it safer for everyone and has shown to be popular with bicyclists, walkers, and joggers. And finally, the end of the year is joyful, filled with some of our favorite holidays, and downtown Coral Gables will soon be brightening up our spirits. The first annual Festival of Lights in Coral Gables is now proclaimed for the third Saturday of November through the second week of January. The lights will be sure a sight to see for all, as downtown businesses are encouraged to decorate their storefronts with holiday lighting and decorations. But that's not all. Participants will be competing in 3 categories: Best Restaurant, Best Retail Store, and Best Office Building, and the winners will be recognized at a City Commission meeting. Please be advised that participants shall only use white holiday lights secured in a safe and professional manner. For City News, this has been Tanya Leeds.
Thanks, Tanya. Hey, it's that time of year when ghosts and ghouls come out and walk on the streets of Coral Gables. We've got the details on where to take your trick-or-treaters for a good treat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Headless men and mechanics of all ages will hit the streets of Coral Gables with their trick-or-treat bags. Halloween is this month, and Coral Gables will welcome goblins and monsters all over the city beautiful. Lots of activities are scheduled to take place on Halloween, including the 15th annual Halloween on the Mile. The family affair will offer story time and kids activities, costume contests for pets and kitties, and of course, treats provided by local businesses. The fun is at Miracle Mile on October 31st from 4 to 7 p.m. Call 305-569-0311 for information. Superheroes will invade City Hall on Halloween. Staff and public officials will provide treats for their guests. For information, call 305-460-5205. Want to get scared? Head on over to Nightmare at 405 Haunted House at the Coral Gables War Memorial Youth Center on 405 University Drive. Get pre-sale tickets for the Haunted House on October 24th by calling 305-460-5600. Well, that's all we have for you on this edition of Coral Gables Now. This has been your host, Rodolfo Roman. Thank you for watching Coral Gables Television. Till next time, and have a happy and safe Halloween.